One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday. My name is Lisa Ferrero. We are so thrilled to be kicking off a new year, a couple weeks into it. How's it going out there? Let us know how you're doing. Let us know where you're joining us from. It's fun to be here today because a few weeks ago, right before Christmas, we were exchanging cookie recipes and talking about favorites. And as I'm looking at some of the people in the room today, they are chewing cookies that Candy provided. What kind of cookies are they? Like almond cookies? So, yes, ask and you shall receive is the theme for 2023. No, this month our theme is simplicity. And this morning we're really lucky and graciously accepting the offerings of Reverend Christy Hardwick, joining us from St. Petersburg, Florida this morning. And you notice we also got a 2-camera shoot happening. When we're moving on up. Yeah. So everybody back up. So let us know where you're joining us from. Welcome everybody in the room. If you want to give us a applause, live here and in person. And this week we're going to start as we always start with the practice of Qigong, pulling the energy in from this light that surrounds us, that's within every one of the trillions of cells. It's a really wonderful practice to align body, mind, spirit. And we're grateful to have live and in person this morning, Sifu Helen Yi. And I'm going to stall for a little bit as people, come on in. You're the next contestant on. The Chi is right. The Chi is right. Enjoy.
Good morning. Yes. Happy Chi? Yes. Okay, just kind of space yourself out a little. We're going to get in the zone of our energy alignment with our Chi, the life force energy that is in all living things. So let's start by just getting grounded, feeling your center, feeling aligned, feeling alive. Bring your awareness and your focus within. Allow yourself to tap in to that intrinsic vibration that you're feeling. Start to breathe with intention and awareness, the breath, knowing that the life force energy is in all of our breathing. From here, bring your hands to the lower dantian. Feel the connection here, the battery center where Chi is stored. Continue to breathe, bringing your mind's awareness into this area. From here, bring your hands down to the sides. Spread your legs just a little further. We're going to do an exercise to awaken some of the meridian channels and vessels. And just allow your arms to be like wet noodles. Just hitting the torso, the points, keeping the vitality of the Chi, feeling it. See how relaxing this is? You can do this waiting in line at the supermarket. People will stay away from you. Okay, and then slowly come to a still point. Again, feel that vibration that has increased from just the movement of what I call the bear exercise. And from here, go ahead and float your arms up to shoulder height, allowing it to come just right at the area of the shoulders, bending the wrists, opening the loud lungs. From here with your mind's eye, relax the elbows, draw the chi in from the universe. Feel it coming in to the body, bringing it into the shoulders. Feel the nourishment of the chi absorbing into all the cells in the body. Go ahead and extend the arms again, keeping the chi inside though. Extending, feel that connection to the universal chi. Now, relaxing the elbows. Allow the mind to focus that chi coming in to all the different vessels and points. One more time, extending the arms, holding the chi in the body. And from here, relax the wrist, extend the arms parallel to the body. And now, bending the wrist at 90, opening the lao gloves, drawing the chi in this direction, absorbing it into the body, into the systems, into the different organs. Extending out, touching the universal chi. From here, bringing the arms down, slowly. From here, allowing your mind to feel that nourishment, feeling the sensation in the alignment, in the gathering of all that life force energy. Carry it throughout the day in peace within. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Helen. I always say this, but doesn't it just feel good? Yeah. So let's just stay in that moment. Let's stay in that peaceful space and just open to the cosmic intelligence that is now alive and always has been, but we're awakening to the awareness of that aliveness, nourishing ourselves. And just breathe in, feeling the air fill our lungs, recognizing that as we inhale, it's like the inner tree system of our lungs, as within, so without. Recognizing that as we inhale, we give thanks to the trees, and as we exhale, they give thanks to us. And it's this dance of shared life force. Oh, infinite divine beloved, we are open to the awareness that we bring our presence to each time we remember our sacred connection to all that is. It's either all God or it isn't. So we recognize all that comes into our awareness for us to experience is for us somehow. May we be changed to be better accommodate the skillful wisdom of you, O infinite divine beloved. And recognize that we are always held in love in the space of grace, and the gift of love is always with us. Om Shanti, peace, and so be it. I'm going to turn it over to our beautiful Reverend Christy Hardwick and enjoy this morning. Hello.
Hello.
It's great to see you this morning.
Good to see you too. Can we have the song by Andy Anderson to start? I would love to give you some music that relates to this beautiful subject of just as I am. Beautiful. Thank you, Andy Anderson. It's one of my favorite songs of his, and it's he's made so much music since then, and beautiful music, and I listen to all of it, but I always go back to that song. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And anytime I can redefine, get a new paradigm, and let myself grow. I love the message of acceptance in that. This month's theme is simplicity. So the simple idea of self-love, self-regard, and you know I'm big on self-tenderness right now, writing about it and sharing about it. But this idea of it being the basis of our power. And what is it that we're loving? I had some people in a workshop recently say, you know, this idea of self anything is just ego and it's not my purpose. My purpose is here to serve. And as we worked through the process of the concepts of what it might mean to actually apply any kind of self-love or self-tenderness or self-care, that person's purpose and that person's service was served by it. So they weren't either or. It wasn't that tyranny of the or, it was an and. I can love myself just the way I am, and I can be in service to others. The other set of words that are really important to me in that song and in that sentiment are just as I am, right? We hear that, and every person that I know longs to be accepted just as they are. And the first place that happens is in yourself. How many of you truly accept yourself just as you are? And when we think about the just as I am, what does it mean in this moment? What I've done in my past, what I'm doing right now, what my dreams and thoughts are? Do I love all that? That's the idea, just as I am. And in the teaching of being in love and living from love and expressing from love requires us to be in the present moment with what is. When I love myself just the way I am is a moment to moment, day to day, because we're not always the same, right? You have days where you wake up light and you remain light throughout the day. You have days where you wake up heavy and you feel heavy and you feel a lot of emotion. You may feel turmoil. And you may have days where it's a mix of the two. And this is our human experience. So we love all of that. Recently, Lisa gave a talk and she talked about each of the emotions and just holding them all and being present with everything that shows up for us and allowing it to be part of our experience and part of our opportunity to grow that leading edge. It's all of it. When we love ourselves just the way we are. And it does get to feel like in this world with so many problems to solve, why would I focus on me? Why don't I just go out and give and help and try to solve the problems? Because the fuel of love is what lets you be energized and capable of being helpful. But it can't be withheld from you. And it can't be withheld because it's what you're made of. So in a sense, when we're saying, when I love myself just the way I am loving love itself. I am loving life itself as me. And so if I leave me out, it's not complete. I'm not completely surrendering to the idea of love. I'm surrendering to love for others, surrendering to love for nature, maybe for the beautiful animals in our lives, but I'm not going to surrender to love for me. It's leaving a part out. So there's some aspect of the heart that is not engaged when we don't include ourselves. And I emphasize this so much because it's what we do. We've been taught by family of origin, religious beliefs, wherever they came from, that ourselves need to be last and we need to be in service and not be selfish and not focus on self. But the simplicity of coming from a place of love that includes the self is so powerful. At this time of year, especially tomorrow, We recognize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. We recognize that he is another child that was born who came to do great things. And we recognize him like we do the Christ, the idea of Jesus the Christ that came to do great things. And we remember that they're both just examples, not exceptions. We're all here to do great things, and these great things don't have to be on the same order of magnitude in terms of the human life. They just need to be authentic and fully us, present and accounted for. Sometimes when I'm looking at this month and I look at what he did with his life, I think to myself, what am I doing toward beloved community, towards this vision that he had for all of us to live in love with each other, all gender, all ethnic identity, all the made up races that we have, all of us working and living and loving together, this beloved community that looks out for itself and looks out for each other. And I remind myself that when I love myself just the way I am, I can love my brother just the way he is. I can love my sister just the way she is. I can love the people in my community just the way they are, loving first rather than judging. I don't know about you, but there's a few people that every once in a while the tendency to judge comes up. And I know that it's not beneficial. And anytime I do it, I notice myself saying, okay, what are you judging about them? And where is that in you? Because as you don't love them or are not sending them love and acceptance, no matter what it looks like, it's withholding. Does it mean there shouldn't be consequences for criminal behavior, bad behavior, harmful behavior? Of course not. There should be consequences. And that is how the law of reciprocity works in the world and in the universe. There will be consequences, but that's not ours to attribute. Ours is to love and be present for it. When I love myself just the way I am, it moves into all areas of our life. And how do we demonstrate it? How do we know that I'm actually loving myself? First, let's say in our introduction, when we're introduced as who we are, what are the things that we say about ourselves? How do we feel about what we say about ourselves? I am, what I put after that is very powerful. And it can change. It doesn't mean that it has to be perfect and we have to get just the right words. It's more, what is the sentiment behind me introducing myself to you and saying who I am? Do I let my light shine through? Humility is beautiful. But my wonderful wife worked for many, many years as a leader. And one of the terms that she used a lot was humbition. To be humble, but have the ambition to move things, to change things. So we can introduce ourselves and humbly present the dream that we embody, the dream that we are, what we're doing with our life and our gifts. And sometimes we think they have to be of magnitude. We have to lead a whole movement. Or we paint on rocks. Or we write poetry. Or we give baked goods to people at an event or neighbors. Each of these are all equal acts of love. The movement, the cookies, the painting. It's the unique expression of us that's needed. What comes from a wellspring of love within us to give that we don't edit. And I love myself just the way I am. I introduce my light. And then what about when people ask you how you are? This is a wonderful thing that we all do. How are you doing? I'm fine. How are you doing? I'm fine. You heard that lately? This is not honoring the way we are. Fine is probably not what you mean. It's something that's become acceptable. It's part of our mask. It's part of putting something on that I don't have to actually share. Doesn't mean you're not happy. You could be. Doesn't mean you're not having something amazing happening. It's about the level of what we're willing to share. And we ask the question, how are you doing? We don't ask the question, how you be today? How you being, right? What's happening in you? What's it like to be you today? We ask, how you doing? And it talks about the doing. And we say, fine, I'm doing fine, right? But actually, there's so much more going on in you. Right now, I am feeling a little fatigued, and I look forward to getting some rest. That could be true. Let that person hold it for you. Right now, I'm feeling fantastic. I just got some really good news, and I'm very, very grateful for it. And allow that conversation to unfold. But most of the time, we just cut it off with a fine, not to share. When I love myself just the way I am, just as I am, I'm willing to share where I am as I am in that moment to allow for some connection and deepening of community in these conversations. So I respond differently when I love myself just the way I am. And I mentioned expression. How do you express the unique you that you were born to be? It's through discovery, through revelation, and a willingness to dive into the self and see and recognize what's mine to share. We just had that beautiful Qigong experience with Sifu Helen Yi. She's discovered one of the things that is hers to express, and she openly shares it with each of us, and it benefits our souls. It benefits us. And the beautiful Lisa creating this SoulCall, it benefits our souls. And I know many of you in the room have gifts that you share. And as I said, the length or size or shape or volume is not the point. It's coming from the heart. You're enough, being you, just as you are. Accepting that. That acceptance is the way you move in the world. And that acceptance actually sends the message to others to accept themselves as they are. And I glossed over a little bit the idea that, of course, there can be troubles and problems. And this, in the teaching of New Thought teachings and the idea of consciousness and shifting consciousness, sometimes we think that means we're not going to go through the experiences. We're not going to have the deepest of grief, the anger rise, the rage rise, the feeling of helplessness rise. It all rises in us. And we allow it to move through by experiencing it, not by denying it, not by saying I'm fine. Loving ourselves as we are, just as we are, means that we hold the whole thing and we don't attach our identity to how we might be feeling that day. Sometimes we get a reputation, an idea that I am the person who's always up, always happy, has something good to say. And people expect that from me. So therefore, I'm going to always show up in that way. But I'm not actually showing up in this moment as my authentic self, because in this moment, I'm not feeling that. And what a gift could it be to say, sometimes it's hard. And then you see the other side, but that it moves and it lifts and it changes. This particular man that we celebrate tomorrow for his birthday had some really hard moments. I had an opportunity to be in the kitchen of the home that he was in. And this particular time, it was in Alabama. And the chairs and all the furniture is still there from when he and his wife, Coretta Scott King, and their children were living in this home. The energy was fascinating. I just touched the chair just slightly, knowing that he sat at these chairs and anguished over risking the safety of his family on behalf of the whole. And we know from writings and from witnesses that he anguished over it. But then there were glorious moments where the movement went forward, glorious moments where Jewish brothers and sisters and Muslim brothers and sisters and Christians and agnostics and all got together for the same purpose of freedom and equality for people. Beautiful, miraculous moments. but he sometimes shared his anger, and he sometimes shared his frustration, and he often shared his hope, because that was the primary way that he showed up. But we can learn from him, we can learn from each other, that loving ourselves as we are doesn't take away from all the good that we're doing. It allows us to actually love every aspect, which means we can love every aspect of this life experience. When I love myself just the way I am, just as I am loving life as it's showing up, just as it's showing up. I don't have to have it comply with what I desire in every moment. I can love life every moment, just as it is. And I can love myself every moment, just as I am. May that be your way. I love you all. We'll listen to a beautiful song from the wonderful Erika Luckett and Lisa Ferraro. Another song that lifts me and reminds me what I'm made of. It's so interesting. That song has such a long introduction that sometimes that happens where the video will cut off. But it's from that beautiful, Corinthians passage. Is that about being love? Without love, that we really are not being the full, true selves that we can be. And it's such a beautiful song. I hope we get a chance to play it for you again so you can hear the actual words. But it was about this feeling of knowing that if I am not in love and being in love and immersing myself in love, then it's like I'm just noise, right? So this symbols of just noise rather than the beauty of being love from the inside out. And that's where it starts, the inside out. And even we started out with the Qigong from the inside out. It's like she kept reminding us that Qi to keep it focused inside. And then we can share from that fullness of who and what we are. And I would love to have the wonderful Lisa sing a verse from that so you can hear the words that you can meditate on from this idea of simplicity in loving who I am as I am, just as I am.
What a beautiful message, Reverend Christy. And since I'm standing here, I haven't warmed up. I don't know how meditative it'll be without warm up, but I'll give it a shot. So it's taken from 1 Corinthians 13, this song, The Gift of Love. So if you want to Just close your eyes and get back into that. Oh, it was supposed to go on. Though I may speak with bravest fire and have the gift to all inspire, and have not love, my words are vain as sounding brass and hopeless gain. Though I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not be given by love within, the prophet soon turns strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control. Our spirits long to be made whole. Let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free. Amen, 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 amen. And so be it.
Wow. Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. To be made whole, that line, to be made whole includes us loving ourselves just as we are. And that love conquers, fuels, eradicates, fills every space in our lives with good. I'm so grateful to be here with you, and thank you, Lisa, for that amazing and beautiful gift of love.
Thank you, Christy. And back at you. That was a little spontaneity. Never heard anyone, huh? This is how we do it. So, yeah, you never know what's going to happen when you show up for a Sunday. But Reverend Christy, it's such a blessing and a sacred honor to co-create the SoulCall Global Experience along with Aiden, who's always backstage there making things happen with such fluidity, and of course Natalia Zuckerman. And I want to thank you all. I hope you can hear me because I just kind of turned my microphone down. Okay, I think that's better, right? I want to say thank you to all of you who are joining us from wherever you are. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Thank you for being with us. Good morning, Dominica. Welcome. And wherever you're going to join us from later, watching it later in the week, or maybe rewatching it, join us and subscribe and share our YouTube channel, SoulCall Global. We really appreciate that. And also friend us, share us, like us, anything you possibly do, stretch us out like silly putty on social media, your friends page, all of that kind of stuff. Join SoulCall Global on Instagram and Facebook. And there are going to be a lot of things coming up. We had a fantastic meeting yesterday with our Soul Squad volunteer team leaders. And so next week, we're going to be posting in the newsletter all of the things that are coming up. But this week, you might receive in your inbox, it's going to be hot off the presses, ways to serve, ways to share your talents and gifts that Christy was speaking about. We've got some very fun things coming up this year. And some of the things that are our SoulCall, I'll call it like the Sustainer series, where we not just receive from you, but we help others sustain through the winter with food. So we're going to be doing a food drive coming up at the end of February. So start looking for those sales on non-perishables and bringing them with you on a Soul Call Sunday, or come by, drop them off. We'll be sending you a letter that you could send to your neighborhood where they can bring food to your doorstep, and you collect it and bring it to us, and then we'll distribute it to those families in need. We've got quite a list of families that we are regularly supporting. So just know that there won't be 1 ounce of food that does not go to a family who is planning on us with all the other ways they have to sustain themselves. We're part of that equation. So you're part of that equation, and I thank you for sharing your gifts. Financial gifts also help us to go buy more of the things that we could supplement those gifts with. So your financial contributions are in fact tax deductible. We are a nonprofit. So thank you for sending them. Thank you for dropping checks. For those of you who are here, who are doing that on a regular basis, it all goes to co-create a world that is a place where people feel loved, seen, and where they could ask for help knowing somebody shows up for them. This past week, we were able to take care of a rather hefty electric bill for one of our members who was in need of that. They were about to have their electricity turned off, and it was a mom and a small child. So thank you for us being able to get a call like that and to be able to say, yeah, we can certainly help you. So this is how we're doing it. So I'm very happy to report these things. I'm in like a really deep place of gratitude today. I'm just feeling really centered and grounded. Are you all feeling it? Yeah, it's kind of, as we turn the corner on our 3rd year, coming into Soul Call for the 3rd year, we're really growing in ways, not just pandemic growing ways, but just like the ways that we are reaching out and the ways that people are reaching in, where people know we're here now. So if you're thinking of a way that you can contribute or something that you just really would like to share, please send me an email or come see me on a Sunday afterward and share your thoughts with me. So I'm very grateful for the position we're in. We're doing really well, and it's all because of this co-creation of consciousness. No one does it by themselves. So coming up, I'll start a class February. It'll be Tuesdays in February, starting, I think it's February 21st. It's the Essential Mystics class. And it's going to be based on the book by Andrew Harvey. There'll be a graphic for next week, but it's in the newsletter this week, the Essential Mystics. You could sign up on soulcallglobal.org. It's right there on the homepage. And it's going to be a wonderful immersion into the great mystics and the mystic within you. So I encourage you to participate. It'll be an 8-week experience. The book is really deep, but speaks to you. Like, it's not like a heady kind of a thing. It's going to open your heart to the you of you and help you to cultivate that essential mystic within. So we're going to be co-creating that kind of a consciousness Tuesday nights. And so with that, I want to say, if you are in need of prayer or healing, please drop us a line at prayers@soulcallglobal.org. Beautiful Andy Anderson, his wonderful wife, and also Minister Reverend Bonnie Anderson is our prayer team leader. And Candy is the leader of our healing arts team. And our prayer teams connect to the healing team, as we said before. And we send out the love and light to those who just need to have their cells stimulated a little bit. So please let us pray for you. We are here for you. And if you would like a quick reading, Linda's here today. So after we're finished with our meeting this morning, if you want to touch in, we're grateful Linda Coate is here with us this morning. So anything else you could think of that you want to share with us, now's the time as we craft the rest of the year. We've got a lot of footholds in place, but there's some really fantastic and dynamic, exciting things about to happen with SoulCall that we're going to be rolling out over the next couple of weeks. And I'm very excited about it. You can be too. And I don't know what else to say except thank you. So I want you to know that you are never alone. Wherever you are, no matter what you're going through, it is for you, even if it really hurts. Just know that you're not alone. And always remember deep inside, and grow it from the inside out. Want to say it with me? You are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love.